Welcome to Mascoma High School. We're really excited to have you all here next year. I am Miss Steer. I'm one of the school counselors and I work with the older students. Mrs. Cooney will be your school counselor next year. Very exciting stuff. So in this video, we're going to hear from all of the departments here at the high school, including all of the electives, like your music classes, art, PE, all of that stuff, and then our core courses like math, science, English, and social studies.
Throughout this video, if you'd like to jump ahead or go back and hear something again, you can use these time codes right next to the video player, and you can navigate around by your own interest.
If you have any questions about this video, please do not hesitate to give me a call here at the high school. My number is 632-4308, extension 2002.
Hello folks, I'm Mr. Toe, the interim principal here at Mascoma. I look forward to welcoming your students here as freshmen next year. You got an excellent guidance counselor. If you got any questions, reach out to her, keep in communication with her. I hope to go over and meet with the 8th graders as well before all the registration and stuff takes place, and I can give them tips as how to make the freshman year a successful one. We can't wait to have you all join us, and with that I'll turn it back to the people at the table.
Hi everybody, we're looking forward to having you arrive in high school where you'll have the school for 4 years, and we really want you to make it your own and make the most of it. We will right away get you onto a career path and help you have some ideas about the big picture you want to chase, but don't feel any pressure because you have a fantastic guidance counselor in Mrs. Cooney who focuses on freshmen. My name's Mr. Ramage, and I work on alphabet A through M for 10th through 12th graders.
No, you don't.
A through M, A through K. Well, right, A through K. And Ms. Steer works with students in 10th through 12th grade from L to Z.
There we go.
So Stephanie, tell us a little bit about what a day is like and how they spend the day in classes once they get here.
As you can see on the registration form, we have an 8-period day here at the high school. So when your students are signing up for classes, all their core classes are going to take up 4.5 periods. Then they will have to choose another 3.5 electives. One of those 3.5 periods you can fill in with a study hall. We do recommend that here at the high school, that you take at least one study hall. We cannot mandate that you take a study hall, but that's between you and your parents if you choose to not take a study hall.
So one thing that they'll be doing soon is a 4-year plan. So maybe let's talk about what is a 4-year plan.
A 4-year plan is a list of courses that you will take while you're here at high school, courses that will get you to graduation and courses that will allow you to start thinking of your pathway after high school.
Yeah, and we'll address that because we have this excellent software that we'll bring everybody on board with called Away To. It's going to help you explore careers and opportunities, whether it's college or workforce or military or other options. And that will help you really investigate and explore what things you might like to do. So as part of your 4-year plan, you'll develop a general career idea or some choices that you might want to explore.
I'll be coming over to the middle school on March 7th to go over registration forms with students. Once registration forms are gone over, we are hoping that students will take home the registration forms and go over them with their parents and then bring them back by March 11th. That would be Friday, March 11th. And we are hoping that students will give them to Laura Donica, Mrs. Donica, 8th grade school counselor. Thank you for watching this video. We look forward to seeing you next year.
I chose to direct at this school because I saw a really great opportunity to return to New Hampshire. I was away in Pennsylvania for a while, in a community that clearly supports the arts. When I saw the facility and I heard about the investment that the community made in this building and the auditorium, in the music classroom, I knew that this was a place that I could continue a program that was really thriving already. And that's what I was looking for at this point in my career. If I had to speak to somebody about joining the music program, I would say that they should give it a chance. We have an environment in the program that is very inclusive and welcoming to all sorts of skill sets and backgrounds. And I don't believe that there are any students that feel that they're not welcome. It's really important to me that kids feel like they're a part of something positive. So I would say give it a try. And to not be afraid of potentially feeling that they're not qualified in some way. That's what my job is to help students learn to better their skills in music. That's the tool that we use to form a tight community and to share our love of music together and perform. So I would say before you make a decision, come and experience for yourself and see what, and then if it's not for you, then you've given it a fair shake.
I was always like really into music and like the music programs when I was younger, and I mean for me personally music was sort of an escape for me, so like playing it and like doing it just something that I love to do, so I found like sort of it as an escape for me to just kind of relax and like do something for fun. I would say definitely join if you are really like into music or if you use music as an escape, because it helps me a lot just being able to like play and like sing or whatever, do sort of something that I love to do. And if you're like a sports player and say your friends aren't joining but like you still want to, definitely join. Like you'll find new friends that also have like the same interest in this, but then like you also have your friends outside. And it's just a good like sort of community to join because it's a lot of diversity and like different kids and just something fun.
When I was in middle school, I was kind of like the loser kid. And like after that, I kind of started hanging out with who like got what I liked and stuff. And I made more friends. And it was nice to be around these kind of people.
It's a place to go and be yourself. Definitely try it because it's a good experience and it's a place where you can find your a lot of friends and stuff, and just do it. Just go with it.
High school should be a place where you try lots of different things, and if it's trying a sport and still continuing with a music class, then I support that, down to even schedules that sometimes will conflict with each other. And do we just have conversations like, you're going to go to this and we're going to do this, and we do what we can. There's never a point where I would discourage a student who's a serious athlete but also wants to be a serious musician. I truly believe that you can do both things and do them well.
When I first joined the school, which was last year, and I was not confident at all that I could be good at this. And something I learned is that I can be good at this, I just need to go out and try, because if I don't try, then I don't know.
Just try it. If you try it and you don't like it, you can always quit.
Trying new things can be scary. For me personally, I joined and I found a lot of people who liked music as much as I did. So I would say try it, because you may find some people that surprise you. You may find some new friends. Yeah.
I also believe in supporting the athletics program, because if we're looking for support from our community, we have to support others in our community. So that's why we formed Pep Band, to get out and to play and support the fall sports. And I try to attend games throughout the different seasons so that I can see my students in action on the sports field too. So every spring we do a musical. It sort of runs in the winter, spring time, and you can see by walking the hallways here in the music department area, we have our own wing, that there's a long history of successful productions with musicals. So we're going to continue in that. We had a really great experience this last month with a show that was student driven, an in-house production, which was called Behind the Mask, and that was a really fun experience, where students were given the opportunity to do everything from set design and building, helping with costumes, prop making, obviously acting and singing, And then they were running sound and lights too, so that was awesome to see kids in the booth. Kids that are involved in musical theater would be able to get their hands into any aspect of musicals. It doesn't even have to be on stage, it could be production, the production side of things too. If you want to be a part of something positive and have a place that you feel like you really belong within the high school, the music program's where it's at for that. So I encourage anyone to give it a try, talk to somebody who's currently a student, or just call or email me and we can connect and chat about ways that you can become involved. Because I think in the end, it's a great place to be, and when you look back on high school, it'll probably be a highlight for you. So.
Hola todos, me llamo Señorita C. My name is Señorita C, and I'm the Spanish teacher here at Mascoma. In Spanish class, we learn all about the Spanish language and culture. We learn to read, write, listen, and speak. In Spanish 1, you'll learn all about how to talk about your family, your friends, yourself. We'll also take a look at things like food, sports, school, your house. It's a lot of fun. We get to play games and do projects. In the upper Spanish levels, you'll start to learn how to take what you learned in Spanish 1 and use it to go out into the world and speak with others. You'll learn about vacations and shopping. In the past, Spanish students have taken trips to Spanish-speaking countries around the world to experience culture and language in a natural setting. It's something I'm really looking forward to doing more of in the future. Spanish is a great skill to have. As you think forward in your future towards looking at colleges and looking at future careers, it looks great to have a second language on your resume. Companies are always looking for workers with second language skills. This allows them to talk to a wider variety of people in a wider variety of languages. It's a great skill to have and one that can definitely prepare you for a successful future. Gracias todos. Espero que voy a verles en clase el año que viene. Thanks everyone, and I look forward to seeing you in class next year. Adios!
So, I'm the woodshop teacher, Mr. Schindlinger, over at the high school. I also teach a couple other classes. I'll go over them. But for freshmen, a very popular class has been Introduction to Woods. And in that class, you will do things like start off probably making a little snow person of some kind, like a snowman. Goes up to honey dippers, things like that. Get into bowls, plates. Some people just like to make them look like art, colored pencils and stuff, or combine them all the same. So you get to explore that. With it, we'll then move up into like a sliding top box, a small box like so, or a shaker basket. Some kids go off and do scroll saw art, like puzzles and whatnot. Some wood carving, wood burning. Some students really enjoy that aspect. Some kids really take it up a notch and do segmented bowls. That might be more of an advanced woods thing, but the right kids do it. Bandsaw boxes can be fun. Usually at the end, we'll make some pens, which are pretty popular. So Intro to Woods, pretty popular freshmen, and it gets the gift giving season out of the way. You got that covered pretty much that year. Learn some skills like safety. I assume that you don't know how to use any of this stuff, and we go over all about the safety if you're concerned about that. And then you get to make some stuff, measuring, things like that. So that's a really good class for freshmen. I certainly would encourage you to sign up for that. I think that's good life skills, and I think you'll make some good stuff out of it. If you like that class and you want to continue it either as a freshman but a lot of kids stay or schedule's pretty full as a freshman, but they might come back a sophomore, junior, senior year and do advanced woods, and they might do more things like that segmented bowl, but usually it's a piece of furniture or two. Here's a shaker candle stand. Here's some end tables, that kind of thing. Milking stool. And let's see, here's a cabriolet table that has, with some fancy curves, if you like that kind of thing. We do have kids that come in, I want to make a table. They'll make I had a girl a few years ago make a chest of drawers that was pretty cool with live edge, so some bigger furniture items, really focused on that kind of thing, which is pretty neat. Might be a little harder for a freshman, but a building construction class will learn more about residential framing. Here's some models that have been made, but you also may notice the outdoor classroom outside the Indian River School, where we cut a timber frame using old tools and techniques. And like this spring, we're going to do the same thing over the Enfield Village School, and that might actually be a 2-year project, but we'll see. So maybe some timber framing and some knowledge of just general building construction. And the other class that I teach that might be a little harder for freshmen to get into, but it is popular, is the electrical systems class. So if it's in the fall, we'll start off with jump starting a car. I don't know if you've ever been around a car that had need to be jump started on a cold winter, perhaps. But that's a pretty important life skill if you've ever had it happen, because it can be done wrong, and you can wreck a car. You can blow the computer in the car if you don't hook it up right. We learn how to do basic soldering and circuits. So I think this thing works. Yeah, here we go. So here's an example of a kit that a student made, which is kind of fun. We will take apart old VCRs, printers, computers, make race cars out of them. Here's a good example. Let's see, I think this one here even still works. I think the battery's still good in this one. And here it comes, coming at you. Right up there, well, that's fun. See, the durability test is part of it. We also do home wiring. So we'll have a little wire, home wiring. Students have walls, they do test circuits, and actually get their hands on putting their hands on wiring and outlets and switches and things like that. And some students have gone on and become electricians because they like that. So just a way to explore, work with your hands, using your body to create things. Usually you come out with some nice stuff, and it's not uncommon. I've done doing this 17 years. I'll run into students in the community, former students, and they'll say, hey, I still have my bandsaw box, I'll still have my bowl, I still have footstools, I still have that table I made, and they usually think back on the class. And to be frank, you probably don't have that A+ paper that you got in social studies still hanging on the fridge, 20 years later. So it's a good way. There's not hardly any homework. It's a good break in your day. Come on down. You get to move around and create stuff. So I'd highly recommend considering taking a class down in Tech Ed, Intro to Woods, Advanced Woods, Building Construction, or Electrical Systems, at least at some point in your career, if not during your freshman year. So thanks for your consideration.
Bonjour à tous, bienvenue au cœur de la communauté française de notre lycée. By the end of the year, I will have had the great good fortune of getting to know all of the 8th graders at IRS during our 36-day Adventure in Culture and Language Unified Arts French mini course. So we thought it was fitting to introduce our high school French program to ask 3 treasures of our French department, Nicolas, Emma, and Gage, to offer their perspectives on learning language. Nicholas, Emma, and Gage are in their 4th year of French study, and they have kindly agreed to be interviewed and to interview each other. So I will ask the questions in French so that the listeners can hear a little bit of what the language sounds like. Alrighty. Commençons par Emma. Emma, comment est-ce que tu décris ton expérience de français jusqu'ici?
In one word?
En un mot.
Okay, I guess incredible, I guess, I don't know. The words learning and vocabulary and stuff has been really cool.
Merci beaucoup. Nicolas, est-ce que tu trouves que tu penses différemment en français qu'en anglais?
I find the language like quite different, obviously. Like the structure of it, like I'll know words in French that better describe English concepts too. If that makes sense.
Oui, beaucoup. Et toi, Emma?
Yeah, I agree with him.
Super. Gage, trouves-tu que ton apprentissage de français te rend plus fort en anglais, en histoire, en géographie?
Yeah, learning French has definitely helped me in English, history, and geography. In English specifically because I learned better the parts of speech. In history, I know a lot more about the history of France than I did before taking French, and I now know a bit more about the geography of France as well from studying it.
C'est magnifique. Merci beaucoup. Question pour Emma. Quel champignon, à ton avis, fait la meilleure glace aux champignons?
I'm sorry, madame. Mushrooms do not belong in ice cream, and that is my final opinion on that.
Ne t'excuse pas. Je suis sûre que beaucoup de personnes sont d'accord avec toi. Nicolas, à ton avis, quels 4 ingrédients feraient ton smoothie de rêve?
Well, in an ideal smoothie, I'd have milk, fruit, yogurt, and ice.
Uh-huh. And what do those words sound like en français?
Wait, what?
Your 4 ingrédients de rêve pour ton smoothie en français?
I don't know. Le lait, les fruits. Yeah, I totally forgot yogurt.
No worries, Emma.
Yogurt.
Oui, c'est ça.
Oh yeah.
Et le
Exactement.
glace.
I knew the
Yogurt
glass.
with no consonants, voilà. Ok, Gage. Quel mot en français, merci beaucoup Nicolas, quel mot en français est-ce que tu trouves mieux et plus beau qu'en anglais?
The French word that I think is better than the English word is arbre, which means tree.
And pourquoi est-ce que tu préfères arbre to tree?
Because it comes from the Latin, so it just sounds better.
Ok, belle réponse. Ok, question pour tous les 3 camarades. À quelles expériences de la vie est-ce que votre étude de langue vous donne de l'accès privilégié? Gage.
My study of French has given me a little bit of an advantage in history, like even just U.S. history, because when we cover early U.S., we talk about France a lot, and it helps with the times I've taken a look at the history of France to know a bit more about those situations.
Bravo. Et toi, Emma?
My dad's side of the family all speak French and Creole, so being able to speak French is very nice to understand them.
Oh, mais c'est passionnant. Merci beaucoup. Et toi, Nicolas?
Yeah, people in my family also speak French, so it's nice to sometimes know what they're saying.
C'est super! Okay, accès privilégié in the question is meant privileged access. So, okay, les camarades, these guys have some burning questions for one another, and well, I'll turn it over to Nicolas.
All right,
En français.
of course.
Mm-hmm.
So Gage, est-ce que tu arrives à dessiner les chats?
Comme ça.
All right. Next question. Quel animal est-ce qu'on se cachait toujours?
Le bébé phoque.
And then, quel est ton nom préféré en français?
Zoot.
Uh-huh. Emma, tu as des questions pour les camarades?
Nick, voudrais-tu une pomme?
Oui.
Et Josh, est-ce que tu es un robot?
Oui.
Oh. Gage, des questions pour les camarades?
Emma, qu'est-ce que le chien fait?
Le chien fait ce que le chien fait.
Nicolas, comment allez-vous aujourd'hui?
Comme ci, comme ça.
Comme ci, comme ça. Okay, merci beaucoup. Thank you very, very much, and we hope to see you next year.
Hi, welcome to the business classroom. We have in this class, we offer in this class Introduction to Business Economics, Accounting 1 and 2, Entrepreneurship, and Personal Finance. The Introduction to Business and Economics is a popular class with most sophomores because it's one of the classes we offer to cover both your computer half credit and your economics half credit. But it's more than that. We do a lot of marketing stuff. This year we'll be launching the use of Lego robotics in the course. The economics covers everything from current events to worldwide events. The entrepreneurship is open to juniors and seniors, so stay tuned for that. You'll be ready for it in a few years. Personal finance is open to any age, any grade. You can come in and learn all about finances. It's a little bit different because we're going to be doing the game of life. So you'll be starting off as a student as if you have a job, and then be learning about checking, credit cards, banking, saving for the future. You'll play the stock market activities, and you'll find out how by the time you're 65 you can retire with close to $1 million. The accounting course I mentioned is, as I said, Accounting 1 and 2. That is only for sophomores through seniors, and it's open. What we cover there is everything that you would need to know to have books for a small business, and then for partnerships and corporations. In accounting, we do different games like Monopoly and other sort of activities. One of the clubs that I am the sponsor for is FBLA, and that's Future Business Leaders of America. And what we do in that is we generally are finding ways to raise money, doing different activities such as selling carnations at Valentine's. We also do the candy cane sales, and then in the spring we'll do something. The funds for that go to a very special event at Christmas time where we put together Christmas bags for the residents, people who have to stay at the David's house during the holiday season. So the students, not only in FBLA are you learning how to sell things, but you're also able to contribute back to the community for people who need something during a trying season, during a trying time. So be sure anybody can join that at any point in time. Love to have you in it.
How much?
That's $195.
He's got out.
Mascoma kids, I'm Elias. This is a 3-point shot.
Hey, give it to Josh!
Josh! Sunlight!
What's up, Noah?
Yo, we got the full underdog team right here right now. Telling us we're gonna be showing the 140 games.
All right, go get defense. Get in there, defense. Oh. Oh, look at these guys. Oh, 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 whoa. Oh. Okay. I mean, you know.
So my name is Miss French, and I teach art at Mascoma Valley Regional High School, and we're really excited to have you here next year coming up from the 8th grade. So the first class that you would take if you came up to the high school would be Art Concepts. So Art Concepts is the beginning level art foundations class for all the other art classes that you would take. And in that class, we go over the elements and principles of art, and we have projects that deal with the elements and principles. So we start out with collage. So here are we do 3D collage. So here are some examples of those projects. We also model animals from life out of clay. So here are a couple animals that students made. And we also make projects out of cardboard. So here's a mountain bike tire that was made totally out of cardboard. And we have a really great time in the art room. We are planning to go on field trips and have visiting artists in, so hopefully that will happen when you're up here. And then from Art Concepts is a half-year class. You can also go on to take drawing or painting or ceramics. Those are all other half-year art classes. And in those classes, we do more advanced painting projects. Here's a gecko. This would be something you would do in the drawing class. This is a text portrait that a student is working on. So here are other painting examples. In the drawing class, you would also do drawing from life, so you would learn how to draw from life. We also do scratchboard in the drawing class. So here are some examples of the scratchboard projects. And as a 9th grader, you can take 2 sections. So you could take art concepts and then you could go on and take drawing, or you could go on and take ceramics. And as a senior, you can also take art portfolio. So that's our 1 year-long class that usually juniors and seniors would take, art portfolio. And in that class, you are developing a body of work on a theme. So one of the things about the art classes at Mascoma is that you don't have to have any prior ability or any prior experience with the arts. You should just come with an open mind, and we're here to help you learn and hope you have a great time and want to take other art classes. So next year, the majority of the art classes will be half-year, semester-long classes, which will allow you to try it, see if you like it, and get your art credit for graduation. And then if you do enjoy it, you can try another half-year art class. So the art rooms at Mascoma are fantastic. They're really large. We want to encourage students to come in here, use the space, feel safe here. I have a lot of students that will come in during their free blocks and do their own type of artwork. So it's a very welcoming environment where you should just come down and say hello and always feel like you can come into the space because it's really amazing space.
Hi, I'm Mr. Sweetland, and this is Social Studies Program Overview. What I'm going to do here in the next couple minutes is just to tell you what your options and requirements are for social studies. Here at Mascoma, you need 3 credits to graduate. You need 1 of civics, 0.5 of world history, 0.5 of economics, and 1 of U.S. history. And so at some point during your 4 years, you need to get those done. A little note here, as that we'll point out, is that you can get that 0.5 economics credit from Introduction to Business and Economics. But that's the overview. The difference, we have added a new class for 9th grade and did a little reshuffling. So this is, the sequence that we're assuming everyone will do. 9th grade, Global Studies. It's a 0.5 credit. It will give you the 0.5 World History credit. In 10th grade, U.S. History. That is 1 full year credit. It's also the U.S. History credit. In 11th grade, Civics. We'll do Civics as juniors. The thought was to move it to later in your high school life because it'll be more pertinent to you when you're getting closer to vote. When we do community service projects, you guys are more mobile with cars. So we made that switch, and economics, the 0.5 senior year. And again, this is not what everyone has to do, but this is kind of the proposed scope. We have a number of electives as well for social studies. We have Ancient World History, Part 1 and Part 2. Both 0.5 credits. Each one will give the 0.5 World History credit. You don't have to take both of them. You can take one. Geography is a full year class. It is open to kids in 10 through 12th grade. It is also a 0.5 credit for World History. Introduction to Philosophy, which is a junior-senior class. That's a full year class. Psychology and Soc, which is a senior class. That's a full year class. Law, open to juniors and seniors. And History and Film, a class we started this year. That's open to juniors and seniors. History and Film will give you your 0.5 World History credit. We also offer 2 advanced placement classes in social studies, and we have taken to alternating them every other year. This year, we are offering AP US. So starting next year, AP European History. It'll be offered next year. It will give you your 0.5 World History credit. We will offer US History the following year, 2023 and 2024. So if you are wanting to take one of the AP classes, you kind of need to plan it out, because where the bulk of the sophomore class next year will be taking US History, if you want to take AP US History, you would take it as a junior the following year, which is absolutely fine. But you just kind of need to plan what your schedule of classes is going to be. So plan ahead. Any questions that you have, ask the counselors. Ask any of the social studies teachers. We'd be happy to help you.
Hello, my name is Ms. Tessier. I'm a science teacher here at Mascoma Valley Regional High School. And we'd like to talk about the different offerings we have at the high school, how many credits you need, and all the fun things that we do here in the science lab. So as a freshman, most students will be taking physical, earth, and space science, but there is an option for you to take biology. There is some prerequisites for that. Math is a prerequisite. Then once you get to your sophomore year, you will be taking biology. And again, if you are at a certain level in math, you could be taking other classes like chemistry or forensics. And then your junior and senior year, there's a lot more options for you to take, along with chemistry again, physics, anatomy and physiology. We also offer AP courses, AP chemistry and AP biology. Again, these courses do depend on your math level, but there are courses that don't require a math level, and that would be environmental science. And so by the time that you graduate, you will be needing 3 credits to graduate high school. 1 does need to be a physical science, which incorporates both physics and chemistry, and then a life science, which will be biology. Your 3rd credit is an elective science credit that you can figure out which one you want to take, and we have lots of options here. During your time in the science class, you'll be learning all sorts of science concepts, but also you'll be learning all sorts of science skills, doing different experiments in the lab. So one experiment that you will do as a freshman potentially is building mousetrap cars to study motion and forces. You get to design and rebuild and retest. And then once you get to the upper levels, junior and senior year, there'll be all different experiments that you'll do in the variety of classes, and so that you will get the best of both worlds of content and also hands-on.
Welcome to High School English. I'm Mrs. Palella.
And I'm Mr. May.
And we're going to tell you a little bit this morning about what happens here at the high school in the English department. Thank you. English classes at the high school meet for 45 minutes daily.
So, ninth grade English courses that are available to you as you come into the high school are these 3. You can take English Lit and Comp 9, English Workshop 9, and English Academy. English Lit and Comp and English Workshop are taught by me, and English Academy is taught by Mrs. Palella. And your placement into these courses are based on 3 different factors. They're based on your NIWI assessment scores, so your standardized reading scores that you take each year. They're based on teacher recommendations from 8th grade and on your grades.
Students need 4 credits in English here at the high school in order to meet the graduation requirement. And there are several paths that you can select in order to meet that requirement.
An important thing to keep in mind is that upper level English courses at the high school often have prerequisite requirements. So your enrollment can be based on prior grades and teacher recommendations. So for example, you can't take English Lit in Comp 10 until you successfully complete English 9. You have to finish that class first before you're eligible to take the next one.
If you're planning to attend a 4-year college, the recommended track of courses that you would take would include 4 of the following. But there are opportunities here for you to sort of to make your own path, definitely to build your own path. So you might take English Literature and Composition 9, English Literature and Composition 10, English Literature and Composition 11, and then you might take Honors Humanities, AP English Literature and Composition, or Research and Composition, depending on how you want to make up those 4 credits in order to be on that college path. For example, a student with a college goal might choose to take the following courses during high school. So you could take English Literature and Composition 9, English Literature and Composition 10, English Lit and Comp 11, AP English Lit and Comp, and then move on to college. But these aren't the only courses you could take in order to go on that college path. For example, you could take a Workshop 9, Workshop 10, Workshop 11, and pick a 12th grade English course and still attend a college depending on what college path you're looking to follow. If you're planning to enter a career upon graduation, the recommended track may include several of these options. So you might take English Lit Comp and English Workshop 9, or English Academy, English Lit Comp 10, or English Workshop 10, or Reading and Writing Workshop 10. You could take English Lit Comp 11, English Workshop 11, or Reading and Writing Workshop 11. You could take English Workshop 12, or Reading and Writing Workshop 12, and all of these would fulfill those 4 credits that you would need in order to graduate from Mascoma and get into that career path.
And speaking of those courses, these are the 5 teachers who teach those courses. So as I said, I'm Mr. May. I teach English Workshop 9 and English Lit Comp 9. After 9th grade, you go to 10th grade, which is taught by Ms. Hurd. She teaches English Workshop 10, English Lit Comp 10, and English Workshop 11. English Workshop 11 is also taught by Mr. Chalker. He also teaches English Lit Comp 11, English Workshop 12, and Heroes and Villains. Mrs. Grout teaches AP English Literature and Comp, Research and Comp, and Honors Humanities. And Ms. Bilal.
And then I teach English Academy in grade 9, and then Reading and Writing Workshop 10, Reading and Writing Workshop 11, and Reading and Writing Workshop 12. Readings at the high school cover a broad range of literature and are selected with the needs and interests of students in mind. As a result, new works are introduced on a regular basis. The following represents a sample of some of the literary works a student may read in high school English courses. There is a posting of, there they are, okay, of a number of titles, and these are across various different grade levels here at the high school, but these are just some of the offerings that we might read here at the high school. So they would include things like The Odyssey, or Bearstone, To Kill a Mockingbird, A Separate Peace, Macbeth, The Great Gatsby. Some of these may be familiar. Hamlet, etc. So these titles are what's happening here in the current form, but we may find that over time, based on the students that we have in class, these titles will evolve. They may change from year to year.
So New Hampshire has adopted College and Career Ready Standards, which are NHCCRS, which establish goals for student learning. According to the New Hampshire Department of Education, these standards offer a portrait of the graduate and include the critical skills or competencies necessary for skills in careers, college, and life. And these are the standards that we've based our department standards on. So these are the skills that we teach throughout your 4 years at Mascoma to make sure that upon graduation you're ready to participate in the real world.
So according to the New Hampshire Department of Education, students who are college and career ready in reading, writing, speaking, listening, and language exhibit the following. So they need to demonstrate independence. They need to build strong content knowledge. They need to respond to the varying demands of audience, task, purpose, and discipline. They comprehend as well as critique. They value evidence. They use technology and digital media strategically and capably. And they come to understand other perspectives and cultures. And then we have a little link here for you where you can obtain more information about the New Hampshire Learning Standards in the area of English language arts. And via this link, you can see the individual standards and the progression of those standards according to the State Education Department. We hope this gives you an overview of what happens in English here at the high school, and we look forward to seeing all the new students next year. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ashley Cole-Henry. I'm one of the math teachers at Mascoma. We're going to talk about the placement for students in math department. So our courses that are available for freshmen are Math Academy, Algebra 1A, Algebra 1, and Honors Geometry. In Honors Geometry, the students will talk about surface area and volume, circles, trigonometry. We'll talk about quadrilaterals and triangles, as well as some other topics. If a student is enrolled in Algebra 1A as a freshman, they would take Algebra 1B as a sophomore. If they're enrolled in Math Academy as a freshman, they'll take Algebra 1B as a sophomore, 1A as a sophomore, 1B as a junior, and Geometry as a senior. Or sophomore year, they can take Basic Algebra, junior year, Applied Geometry, and then senior year, they can take Woodshop, Accounting, or other classes to get that 4th math credit. If they start in Algebra 1A as a freshman, sophomore year, they can take Algebra 1B, junior year Geometry, and then senior year Algebra 2. Or they can take 1B sophomore year, Applied Geometry junior, and then Woodshop, Accounting, or some variation of those. If they start in Algebra 1 as a freshman, sophomore year they can take Geometry, junior year Algebra 2, senior year Pre-Calculus. Or they can take Geometry as a sophomore, Algebra 2 as a junior, or Woodshop and Accounting option for the 4th credit. If they start in Honors Geometry, the typical program is to get to AP Calculus. So sophomore year, they'll take Honors Algebra 2, junior year Honors Pre-Calc, and then senior year AP Calc. Or they could take Honors Algebra 2 as a sophomore, Honors Pre-Calculus as a junior, and then AP Stats as a senior. They are allowed to double up AP Stats and AP Calc as well. There are some exceptions. So they can take 2 math classes with a teacher approval and a specific grade. So they could take Geometry and Algebra 2 as a sophomore or junior. They can take Honors Geometry and Honors Algebra 2, not as a freshman though. And then AP Calc and AP Stats can be doubled, and then AP Stats can be doubled with anything above Algebra 2.
My name is Sarah Champagne, and I am a math teacher at Mascoma this year, and I'm going to talk about Math Academy. What is Math Academy? Math Academy is a structured class that gives students individual instruction in topics necessary for success in high school algebra. Units are presented in whole class, small group, and individual settings to give each student the opportunity to learn and be successful. And students are provided multiple supports, and work is designed to be completed in the classroom. Some of the topics we cover in Math Academy are factors and multiples, fractions, ratios and percents, decimal operations, integers, probability and statistics, geometry, expressions and equations, and exponents.
All right, hello, I'm Steve Stebbins. I'm a math teacher here at Mascoma Valley Regional High School. I'm here today to talk to you about the topics in Algebra 1A. So first of all, the Algebra 1A topics are primarily, we start off with pre-algebra skills. We do a review of all the pre-algebra skills that you've probably covered in middle school. We review order of operations. We review greatest common factor, least common multiple, things of that nature to help us with fractions. We talk about integers, and just again a variety of pre-algebra topics that help prep you for success in the world of algebra. The second unit that we do, we go into the world of expressions and polynomials. And so we learn how to simplify them. We learn how to add, subtract, multiply, divide with monomials and polynomials and things of that sort. Then we move on into the second algebra unit, which is primarily around the world of solving equations. But we also do little spin-offs like solving inequalities, solving literal equations, and things of that nature. And then finally we wrap up Algebra 1A with what is our Unit 3 of the Algebra 1 curriculum, which is graphing linear equations, dealing with systems of equations, and inequalities. Stebbin's back again, here to talk this time about the world of Algebra 1 topics. So the first unit in Algebra 1, we talk about expressions and polynomials, and we learn how to simplify expressions and add, subtract, multiply, divide, etc. with polynomials. Unit 2, we move on into the world of solving equations, and we talk about like all kinds of different equation solving, and then we go off on some little spin-offs where we talk about solving inequalities, solving literal equations, and we do some word problems in that world. And then Unit 3, we do graphing, linear equations, systems of equations and inequalities. Unit 4 is our unit on exponents and radicals. And again, you learn how to work with all laws of exponents, how to simplify things. We talk about radicals, simplifying radicals. We even go into the world of adding and subtracting and multiplying and so forth with radical numbers. And then Unit 5 is all about factoring. And this is the biggest valued, I think, unit in Algebra 1. This will follow you forever in your future math endeavors. So we really hit hard the world of factoring. And we learn how to factor all kinds of polynomials, and including four-term polynomials and things of that nature. Let's see, Unit 6, rational expressions. We learn how to simplify rational expressions, adding and subtracting with rational expressions, multiplying, and hopefully by the end of the year, we actually get into solving equations with rationals in them. All right, Stebbins out.
Hello, my name is Trent Jones. I'm the health education teacher here at Mascoma High School. Health is a required course that all of our students need to take. Most students will take that in their 9th grade year. However, some students decide to take it in their 10th grade year if there's a schedule conflict or what have you. For health, we cover topics such as nutrition, fitness. We cover drugs, alcohol, of course, vaping, tobacco. We'll also cover sexual reproduction and human development. We cover mental health. We also empathy, gender diversity, all sorts of topics related to health. The goal is to get your students to actually understand the various components of health and have a deeper understanding from the health that they took in prior years, maybe at the middle school or earlier. The students come in, usually we have a question of the day. They fill out their question of the day. Then we go into our topic of the day. At that point in time, after we have a discussion about topic of the day, then we'll go into their assignment. I try to keep the assignments short. Usually 20 to 30 minutes it takes our students to do these assignments. If they're on task and get the assignment done, then they don't have homework. My goal is not for any of our health students to have homework, and most of the time that's accomplished. As far as grading, students will be graded using quizzes. These quizzes are usually online. They're usually multiple choice and some true false in there. In addition to that type of grading, we also have daily assignments and daily formative grading that also counts in their grades. We do things from worksheets. We also do projects. And behind me, you'll see this was our alcohol project. Quick project for the students. This is for the effects of alcohol on various body parts. So they recently completed that. We also have another project on the effects of drugs on human body parts, and that's a different project as well. We also get into projects when it comes to nutrition as well as fitness. So combining their quizzes, combining their projects, combining their classwork assignments. We keep the students well engaged, learning all sorts of different information that'll help them, not just today, but lifelong learning to develop their health. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me at any point in time. My email is tjones@mvrsd.org. Thank you.